saw this earlier and how Denver has been getting higher levels of migration lately, and one of those things where some states push some of their immigrant populations to other states to deal with, and we're in a situation where those communities need help. And so I thought it was important to this denvergov.org community assistance programs migrant support. So migrant support in Denver. So if you have time, donations, money, these are people who often fleeing poor circumstances, dangerous circumstances, looking for a better life, trying to figure out the system, trying to figure out the path. I know there's a lot of struggle going on right now, so no blame or shame if you have nothing to give right now. But if you do have something a little extra, consider giving to these communities, even hygiene products, diapers, toothbrush, deodorant, soap, underwear, clothes. Newcomers Fund is currently accepting monetary donations from the general public, and I just wanted to share that off. And they're doing some coordinated drop-offs to have, and this is something I could probably even add and consider what I can get my network of people to give, and look at how I can work to show up for these communities more, because I might not have the resource side of things, but potentially with time and my ability to get out the message, that can help. So there's just one thing to consider and put out there, and that I got in my email, I want to say today, maybe it was Facebook, but I saw this, that they were asking for additional support, that certain of the take-in areas we're seeing more people come through than in the past. So there we go. I'm sure this website is a huge plethora of, like, let's see what other assistance programs there are. Childcare assistance, shelter, review abuse and neglect, financial and jobs, cash assistance, emergency assistance. So one of those things that if you're more on the side of things where you're struggling more, consider looking through what government programs might be in areas near you, because some cities and spaces that might be doing a little bit better off. Denver's a pretty prosperous city. There might be something on this side that can help you if you're looking for a job, a change, assistance. I'm sure there's data, and data isn't necessarily I enjoy getting into it when I'm in like a certain mood and working on something, but I'm not like great at finding it. I think that's part of where it takes like a certain skill to like know what to search for, because where my mind was going was like, I've heard a lot of stories of people on tough times right now, and I see it everywhere from social media to conversations to just having like with friends and out there day to day with strangers talking about things. And I'm just curious what the data shows, because the working class and in that realm, the 90-something% have such a small amount of the pie, and the past few years have been hard and tough, and with inflation, I know that the struggles. I'm curious what data out there helps support that and shares how bad it is, or like where are things looking, like what does our current situation look like. I'm someone who's pretty optimistic and hopeful, and part of me wanting to create this show and work on this is being able to design and push forward policy changes that help us. And like the general public, how do we create a more just, fair, like society where people aren't struggling as hard? And I think through having conversations, creating content, bringing people together, and then having those dialogues on certain topics is how we get there. For now, though, my always worry is like how many people fall through the cracks in the meantime. So it's nice to see that cities like Denver, I'm sure other cities have programs like this. There's state and federal programs. I know that like they're probably a whole process and not always reaching people, and people still fall through these cracks. But it's something, I guess. So I guess sharing that is interesting, and maybe in the future we can go through some of these programs to see what's going well and where the gaps are. And I eventually want to get to a point too where interviewing and talking to people who are experts in these areas in covering these topics, so that we can get down into like the truths and what needs to be done quicker.